Right, welcome back to the EAHC podcast. Just want to start off by saying, really sorry for the lack of uploads recently. Real life just got in the way. A lot of stuff happened for me personally, and for CJ medically, which is why a couple of episodes are still they're a little bit half done, and they're going to come out eventually. We're going to call them Lost Episode 1 and 2 when they come out, and hopefully it's just extra content for you guys as and when they do come out. They're not really related to anything in particular, so it'll just be extra bonus content. It's something that's a little bit different. There's a really good episode that CJ recorded with James Wilson regarding the lore of Middle Earth, and he had loads of questions from the community to ask James, who's a bit of a Tolkien nerd. I don't think he'll mind me saying that. But yeah, so we're going to start again. This is episode 12. Hi guys, it's me, Josh. Welcome back. I'm very lucky to be joined by Dan today. Say hello, Dan.
Hi guys. Nice to be back.
So myself and Dan, we've been trying to record this for 5 days. And again, last week when we were going to record, I wasn't feeling very well, and then Dan was. We were both busy on the Friday, or one of us was busy. I can't remember. And then on Saturday we had the league finale, which me and Jack and hopefully Dan and maybe someone else, actually, I'm not too sure. I think he's going to try and get a couple of people on. We're going to go through the league this year in general, pros and cons, see what people enjoyed, see what people maybe didn't enjoy. And that's going to be another podcast, which hopefully, fingers crossed, touch wood, will be recorded on Friday. So myself and Dan, we just wanted to have a bit of a hobby catch-up. There's a lot of stuff that we've missed in the last 68 days since we uploaded. Again, I am sorry about that. I would also like to quickly say a big thank you to everyone that has been listening to old podcasts. Maybe you found the podcast a bit later, or you've been referred to them, and because we've had an uptake in subscribers still, and our view time is still quite good. So a really big thank you for that. And hopefully we're back on the grind, and we can try and do this weekly again, like we were doing so well for quite a long period of time. So, what have we missed? What's coming up soon? We've got Rohan at War, I believe.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's exciting. That's December, I think.
Yeah, so I think some of the releases are coming out soon. Obviously, we've had some of the models go up on Forge World. Some of the Rohan heroes, which look incredible, and potentially give you a different way to play Rohan from what I've been reading. Again, I'm not a Rohan player, so my knowledge of them is somewhat limited. But if I go on the Forge World website, because they're not released yet, they normally give you the profiles, don't they? To have a tester profile, as it were.
Yeah, I think they've given it. So they've announced 2 so far, haven't they? Which is the young lad and the old man from Helm's Deep.
Yeah, I don't know where it shows. Does it show their profiles? Sorry, guys. Bit more. Is it in the downloads? There we go. So the rules for the Defenders of Helm's Deep. So we've got Halath, son of Hammer. He is coming in at 30 points, so very cheap. He is an independent hero. I won't go through his full stat line, but he has heroic defense, which is pretty cool for a defense 4 model, and he has a very cool couple of special rules. So the first one being while within 6 inches of Aragorn, Halath increases his attacks to 2, so he gets an extra attack, and he fights to the last. So if at the start of the fight phase, Halath is engaged in combat, for the duration of the turn, Aragorn and all other friendly Rohan infantry models within 6 of Halath add 1 to their fight value. So this benefit ends immediately if Halath is slain. So, I mean, that's potentially pretty strong. What are your thoughts about that, Dan?
Yeah, I'm quite a big proponent of Aragorn being fight 7 in general anyway.
I agree. I think he should be as well, but
I mean, I quite like this because it's a very fluffy way of doing it. I always thought maybe if you give him Anduril, make him fight 7 with Anduril, fight 6 regularly. I think we could all be, roughly happy with that. But no,
it would justify the massive points cost of Anduril, I suppose.
Yeah, no, exactly. And I think it'd make his profile that little bit more fluffy.
Mm.
But no, I really like Haleth. I've been looking to do a Defenders of Helm's Deep army since last year. So I think me and my brother were painting one up for 7 stones for
Nice.
just gone,
Yeah.
and we didn't end up getting tickets.
Oh, that's
So
a shame.
yeah, so we've got one half painted. So all of the Galadrim are done,
Right.
and it's just my side of the Rohan. So this is great, really. So it's come
Just in
out.
time, potentially.
Yeah, so fingers crossed next year, if
Mm.
anyone's at 7 stones, they'll probably be seeing. To be honest, a lot of people will be doing this, I imagine. And there'll be,
I think it's been done before, but I think the
yeah,
addition of the two new, potentially could be a few more heroes yet as well. We don't know. Um, I think these two in particular, combined 50 points, is
yeah,
pretty cool because if you, I think is it. I can never remember. Is it 400 each? It is, isn't
yeah,
it? Seven
yeah,
stones.
it is. Yeah, it's
So,
4 each.
I mean, they're both independent heroes. So if you have like 350 and then you're 50 points stuck and it's a captain or these two, then I
Yeah,
definitely think these two had something pretty cool. So the other guy is Aldor, the Rohan archer. So he's the old guy who accidentally shoots an Urukai in the neck from the film. And again, he's got a couple of cool special rules. He's got one called Unsteady Nerves. Aldor must always shoot first in the shoot phase, even before heroic shoots are resolved. I wonder if that shoots before a ballista, because it says it does.
oh yeah, that'd be interesting.
Be interesting. I mean, it's one guy, but
Yeah,
it's still. And lucky shot, Aldor must re-roll, fail to hit, and to wound rolls when firing his bow. And he's got a might point, so potentially, you need to kill a banner or
yeah. No, he's. I mean, he's almost replacing the king. Is it the King's Champion? No,
King's
uh,
Huntsman.
King's Huntsman. Yeah, he's almost replacing the King's Huntsman in that role, really.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool. I mean, it's basically just a Rohan warrior with a bow, but he's got a couple of rules and a might win and fate point. So,
His model also looks great for battle companies. I think if you were to,
oh yeah, if you wanted like a lieutenant with a bow or something, yeah,
yeah,
that'd
just
be
like an
awesome.
older guy as a. Yeah, no, I'm a really big fan of the new models and profiles.
Mm.
But yeah, no, I think he'll be a bit of fun. I don't think he'll be that
Oh,
great.
it's not game breaking, but again for the points that he costs, and it's
Yeah.
just something quite. I like if you're doing a 600 point army and you're 20 points short, chuck him in, it'll be fun.
Oh,
So.
absolutely. Yeah. I didn't realize. What's it? The Haleth's rule affects regular Rohan infantry
To be
models.
honest, mate, this is the first time I've looked at the profile. I saw someone
Yeah.
mention online that you can get a Fight 7 Aragorn, and I was like, ooh. But this is the first time I'm reading the profile. So, yeah, I mean, a
Oh,
6-inch bubble of
I
add
mean
one
that.
to their fight value is pretty good.
Well, I mean that gives you what, fight 4 men of Rohan, fight 5 Royal Guard
Regard, yeah,
on on foot,
yeah.
which is pretty good. I mean, he's got 2 fate, 2 wounds, and he gets the extra attack, so he's not and heroic defense, so he's survivable.
I mean, if he's next to Aragorn, he's
Yeah,
pretty good. He's
you just
basically just a captain.
you just let him and Aragon charge the same guy each time.
I mean, the thing is as well, if you've got gambling,
Yeah,
you can spend that might point every turn.
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Gambling just gives it back, and he's basically like to attack with a banner with a might point every turn. It's pretty good. Um,
for an independent hero, that's pretty good. He's got a bow as well, actually. I've only just seen.
armor, sword, and bow. Yeah. So
Yeah, so you can have a
not bad.
shoot as well. Yeah,
Okay, so they're the two new models we've seen so far from Rohan at War, and we have got some questions related to that a bit later. So let's just maybe have a little hobby catch up. What have you been working on, Dan? What have you got on the paint table at the moment?
I've just finished my Angmar army that I took to the league finale.
Yeah, it looked very
Uh,
nice. I saw it.
Thank you. So I was frantically painting and a bit of last minute basing sort of Friday night.
Right,
Um,
as any good tournament goer should do.
oh yeah, obviously leave it right to the last minute. Yeah, no one's be that well organised.
No way. It's no fun.
But yeah, so I do have a little bit of a gap. and I'm sort of I'm umming and ahhing a little bit about what to move on to next because I've still got the Heroes from Gondor at War. I've now got all of them.
Oh wow,
So,
okay.
James has given me back my Gandalf the White that he's been painting for me, and it looks incredible. I know.
Friend of the channel, James, giving back Gandalf.
Yeah, thanks, James. I mean, it's only about a year. It's only about a year old.
Done a good job though, to be fair.
Oh, he's done a cracking job. It's already on display. I've got it up on a shelf on display.
Little does he know, when I repaint my Gondor army, he's getting mine. I'll wait a little while because I think he's sick of white, but I'll wait a little while.
Well, with Rohan at War being announced, I was like, do you fancy doing some Rohan, James? No, I don't fancy doing some Rohan.
So my theory is I don't like to play armies while they're cool.
Yeah.
And not that there's been a mass fluctuation of Gondor players this year, Minas Tirith players rather.
No.
They have been a little bit popular.
Yeah.
You've used them a couple of times, and I think Sam Palmer's used them a couple of times, and I've seen them about. So maybe when everyone moves on to Rohan, because they're going to be the new shiny, I can finally re-release the Minas Tirith army that I love and cherish so much. I genuinely do. They're my favourite army, but there's a lot of things to the playstyle of that army that don't make them overly competitive. Shield will help a lot because you don't necessarily die to everything because of strength 4. But so I think I'm going to get them back out. I've got to paint up my 24 Osgiliath veterans for a Boromir Faramir list that I want to use.
Oh, that'd be horrific.
It'd be fun.
Five Gondor.
Yeah, but they're not good.
Yeah. Although I was looking at some of the, so with the new meta, lots of people have been posting lists from some of the more competitive tournaments.
Yeah.
And people have been doing some analysis and stuff. But I've noticed there has been a couple of Gondor lists creep into the top sort of 5.
I think they've got really good heroes. They're cheap.
Minas Tirith, yeah.
They've got really good heroes. Their troops are quite cheap. I think Gandalf is criminally underrated. He's very expensive, but I think he's very, very good for his points.
Well, now I've got a fully painted one. I will be using him a lot.
I think, he gives you a lot for that army's weaknesses, like courage. Yeah. He's got aura of command. I don't know if Gandalf the White has blinding light. Is that only Gandalf the Grey? I can never remember.
Gandalf the White has it.
So, it gives you the protection from shooting, which is a little bit more prevalent nowadays because of how scenarios are sometimes set up. And elf armies. I think he has aura of command.
You've said that, and I can't even remember.
My books are all down. We're doing it again, guys.
I've got mine. Hold on. Bear with.
Disclaimer, anything that I do say, you probably should fact check because it's probably not right. But I think I'm right.
He doesn't. He's got command and terrifying aura, but not.
Well, again, I'm wrong. This is what you subscribe for.
He has 45 spirit though. Yeah, I can't say.
He has banished, right?
Yes, he does. And
he
has broken.
Snapstick, yeah.
Yeah, so.
And he's a leader of Valor, which is pretty cool. Hero of Valor, sorry.
And at 2 attacks, 3, he's probably the best all round. I don't know. I'm going to big shout here. I think he's probably the best all round magic user.
Oh, I don't know about that. The Witch King's pretty good.
Yeah, but I mean, he's got banish now, and he's got 2 attacks on the base, 3 on the charge. He's got strike, resolve,
and he's great with Shadowfax.
Strength 5 normally.
I mean, he's very good. That's what I mean. Like, you can get enough cheap Gondor stuff with him to make the army still what a Gondor army should be, which is essentially just a lot of dudes in heavy armor and shields. But
I think, that's what I was saying about some of the more competitive lists seem to be spamming of the
Farron Court
Guard with Boromir. So
I mean, that's always been the competitive Gondor build with the spamming of the Fountain Court with Boromir to get fight 5
defense
troops.
Bodyguard,
Especially because you just a Denethor in there so that Boromir can just literally run around chopping stuff up and it's fine.
Yeah, it's true. It's just a shame he can't take his lance anymore, I guess.
Can he not?
No, if you've got the banner, you can't take the lance.
Oh, I always play mine with the lance.
Yeah.
The killing power to me is more important. So fight four is good enough for my front line or the back line, either way. So,
But no,
because there's so much fight four backline stuff that the killing power, I always find +1 to wound is better for me.
Yeah.
I might not win as many fights, but you're not going to kill defense 7 stuff easily anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
I'm looking forward to now. I've got all the heroes for Gondor War. Paint them all up, play some scenarios, and run a couple of armies with. I've always wanted to get Gandalf the White and Imrahil on the table together
because it's green.
Yeah, well, it's the fluffy. It's from the books, isn't it? It's fluffy.
It's very fluffy, but it is also green, which helps.
Yeah,
it's very alliance.
It should. Yeah, I mean, it should be really.
Oh, of course, yeah.
But so that'd be. I think that's one of the armies I really want. Now I've been playing. I've got Angmar out the way, and I'm bored of Shade Filth.
Right.
Time to play some fluffy armies again. I think for me.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I know quite a few players would be happy that they won't have to face the Shade again. Tom Hawke was not to give much away, but Tom was thoroughly sick of it. As was Sam Huddy. By the end of Saturday.
He's got 8 will, right? And it costs a will per time.
Yeah.
So you've got 8 turns where you're probably going to win every fight around that model.
Yeah, just about that, yeah.
Or they're going to spend a lot of resources to win the fights.
Yeah, so if you play an all-hero army that's sort of combat-y,
yeah,
you have to spend so much might just to win combats. So I mean, it's good for wearing armies down.
Yeah.
But, otherwise it's just regular orcs, and they're not very good.
Yeah. Anyway, we've got sidetracked a little bit there. Yeah, we'll go back to the go to the Games Workshop website, have a look at the new releases. I don't know how new they are now. I think they've been out a week or two, but they've basically repackaged a load of models. And some came back, so you've got Thranduil and Elrond, which is probably quite popular. You've got the Young Dwarfs, which is something I'm looking to get for Christmas because I want to do an Army of Erebor next year at some point. So yeah, there's some repackaged stuff. We actually save money on some of these bundles, I believe, from when their original cost.
Yeah, I think so, because I think they're about. A lot of them were about £12 each.
Well, like the Mirkwood Elf captains, you get 3 captains for £20, and I think they're at least £10 each when they came out.
Yeah.
Same with the Young Dwarfs. Elrond of Rivendell with Lindir is £30, which is really good because Elrond on his own, I remember, was 26, I believe, or 27. You've got both the twins, £30, which again is cheaper because they were £17 odd separately before for the foot and mounted version, so that's pretty good. Something I might get from my Rivendell army at some point. So that's pretty cool. And I think it's in December for 1 week only. The Warhammer World exclusive ring bearer models, are going to be available to order, which means if you don't live in Nottingham, you have a chance to get hold of those models. So I'll be getting them for my Golem. It's the only one I need. Not been able to get one otherwise, so I'll have to order all 5, which is fine.
I'll be getting them. Anything that involves me not painting a lot, I'll probably be getting.
I mean, just stick them on a base, bit of basing, sorted.
Lovely. Yeah.
So, hobby related for me, I haven't been working on anything SBG since my Corsairs, which aren't finished. I have about 11 left to paint, and then I want to do some Reavers. So they've been put on the back burner. I've got a reasonable little army there with my Black Numenorians. So they've kind of been put to one side for now because I think maybe since the last podcast, or it may have even been a thing in the last podcast, I can't remember. But they re-released the Goblin King throwing a goblin, which is a model that I missed originally when it first was around because I thought, I don't really need it. But because I have all of the Goblin Town range, which isn't a big range, but I have all of it. It's probably one of the only ranges I do have all of it. So I wanted to get it, and it came out in made to order. So I ordered it, and he's going off to James, friend of the channel. Thank you, James. And I'm going to paint some goblins. So I think I've got 24 to paint. I'm going to clean them up today, get them sprayed white, and then wash them, and then they're pretty much done. It doesn't take long, but yeah, I'm going to get them painted up for. I think there's a couple of events next year which are potentially going to be smaller points. I think Goblin Town at smaller points are pretty nasty even now. So yeah, potentially next year I'll get them on the table in some capacity, and yeah, I'm looking forward to getting them all done over hopefully the next couple of days. If I don't get them all done, I'm going to try and do 12. I've got 3 days off. I'm going to try and at least do 12, and then, but they really don't take long. Spray them white, wash them. I sort of water the first wash down and then wash them again, and it looks quite good. It's very easy, but it looks quite good on the table. So I was going through some of the models I have painted this year, and I've got all my Army of the Dead that I've never used. They're all painted, ready to go. I've just never used them. So maybe next year I'll get them out as well. But yeah, so
I was going to say there's a couple of looking at the league for next year.
Yep.
Jack's taking a slight step back just because he wants to play a bit more,
which is fair.
Which is totally understandable because he's done a cracking job all this year, and he spent a lot of time.
We'll big him up in the league finale review episode anyway, but he has done a very good job, and we are very grateful to Jack because obviously I took a bit of a step away from running events, and Sean moved further away, so he's running events nearer to himself now, which meant there was a bit of a gap, and Jack took up the mantle and has done a really good job this year. So the league events for next year, I think there's 5 that have already been scheduled in.
Yeah.
I think they've all gone to TOs already. I think there's 5 people already going to run them, which is great. Yeah, there is room for a couple more. Obviously, there's 12 months in the year, and we've only got 5 events, so I would be interested in. I'm going to do an event next year. It's just dependent on stuff that I've got going on personally as to when that will be. It probably won't be at the start of the year or the middle of the year, but it might be towards the end of the year. I'd like to do another escalation event, but I think I'm going to do a de-escalation event, and a lot of people have been asking for battle companies, so I think we'll have to do a battle companies event. Oh, my voice is going croaky. So yeah, hobby. That's the. Well, we've had a good little natter there for sort of 20 minutes. It's not going to be a really long episode, guys, because we didn't really have a topic or anything specifically to. Oh. Well, I mean, we've got some good questions, so potentially it'll flesh out the first episode back. But as I say, we are looking to be a little bit more consistent going forward, and I'd like to get this out today. So hopefully, we've got 13 comments. James's first one is, guess an obvious one, thoughts on the new Rohan heroes. So we have just done that already, which is annoying because obviously we've already discussed it. And Tom has then asked, with the finale close approaching, okay, so again, we're going to cover that one on the review episode. Unfortunately, when I asked these questions, it was before the league finale, and then we're recording it after. So, yeah. And again, that's another. Sam has asked another finale-related question. So, unfortunately, the comments are going to go very quickly. Tom's asked, "Where do I listen to these?" And then they've been linked. So again, anyway, Thomas Smith has commented and said, when I hear the words the EAHC, the names that spring to mind are Josh, Dan, CJ, Sam, and James. That could be Rich. I think it's Richardson because I mention him every episode as a bit of a meme. What Lord of the Rings or Hobbit army would each of you fit into best if you were in the book/films?
I think we should probably add Jack to this list because I think most people would think Jack after the year he's had. So
Yeah, we should definitely add Jack, the co-host,
yeah,
to the pod. Maybe because he doesn't get as much mentioning as he deserves. So yeah, so myself, Jack, yourself, Dan,
yeah.
CJ, Sam, and friend of the channel, Mr. Richardson. What what Lord of the Rings or Hobbit armies would each of
Oh,
you fit into best, in your opinion?
right. Well, the thing is, I've actually thought about Jack's one because he's a fireman,
Yep.
firefighter. Sorry, I should say.
Mm.
And I can definitely see him being in the army of Dale.
Makes sense.
Yeah, putting out fires. Being hopelessly overwhelmed by smoke,
I
running
don't
around.
know. I don't know if they didn't really. Yeah, the fires didn't really go out though. That's kind of the issue, isn't it?
No, I mean, but it's.
It
I think it's in
fits.
his nature. He goes around putting fires out.
Just hope he's better at it in real life.
Sorting us all out. But yeah, I mean, it's the nearest one you get, I think. And
Yeah, that's actually pretty good. I didn't even think about that, to be honest.
I can see him
Uh,
I can see him in the Dale get up as well. To be fair,
yeah,
yeah, I think it'd suit him.
yeah. I think I agree with you on that one.
Yeah,
Uh, right. So
you.
I'm definitely a hobbit, ain't I? I like food. I like beer. Don't particularly enjoy growing things, but
No.
I
Well,
definitely
I mean,
like food and beer.
yeah,
Could be a dwarf, I suppose, as well.
yeah, it could be a dwarf. Yeah. Do you like a big fire?
I mean, I was an infantry soldier. Let's just put that out there. I have fought on the front lines in
It's
Afghanistan.
true. It's
So,
true.
I
Yeah,
mean,
we should.
theoretically, I could be anything. But in terms of character traits, I'm definitely a dwarf or a hobbit.
Well, now you've retired from the front line. Now
Yeah,
you used to be, before you took an hour in the knee.
yeah,
Now you don't go adventuring as much.
no, no.
So that sounds very hobbity though, doesn't it? You're retired. Sit there with a nice. You don't smoke, do you? So you
I
don't sit with
don't
a
know.
pipe.
I could smoke a pipe though. I could see myself maybe when I'm like 60 having a pipe.
just
If I get that far.
just as a prop.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. All right, I'll take that hobbit. That's fine.
it's like a hobbit. All right,
About
cool.
yourself.
Oh,
What do you reckon? See, I know. Oh, it's difficult.
it's hard. It's hard without insulting the other person.
Oh,
On
I don't mind. You could have called me anything. I wouldn't have been offended.
I,
Uh, Dan, let's have a think.
I think I'm a bit more like a Ranger of the North, I would say.
Bit of a nomad.
Yeah, a bit dour at times, I think. Well, I don't know. I don't think I'm dour at all, actually, but there we
I don't know
are.
what that
I
means.
don't know, grumpy.
Nah, you're not grumpy.
Not well. I don't know. You should. The end of Saturday, I was getting there.
I mean, yeah, we'll talk about that later in the week. But
But yeah, no, I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, bit of a. I like being outside in the, ranging about. I think a
yeah,
ranger. Yeah,
all right, fair enough.
my family are all from the north, so I think that's probably.
You are from the north. That does make
Yeah.
sense. Dan, if anyone doesn't know, is from Sunderland.
Yeah, around
That neck of the woods.
that neck of the woods. Yeah, as you can tell by the outrageous accent.
Now,
Uh,
you're one of the only people I know from the northeast area that doesn't sound like you're from the northeast in any
well,
way, shape, or form.
I'm my family are all from up there, but I'm from down here. But obviously,
Ah.
once I have a drink, I do sound like I'm from up there.
Yeah,
But
same. When I get a little bit drunk, I go back to my Grimsberian roots. It's just something that happens when you're somewhat
yeah,
northern.
but literally,
Um,
all my family, apart from me and my brother, sound they're all Geordies.
oh, the Geordies, but you support Sunderland.
Geordies it's not just Newcastle; it's the area.
Oh, it is, mate. You have to be. I know Geordies. You have to be born a certain amount of distance away from the River Tyne. So,
My dad was born on the banks of the Tyne, but the
right.
southern bank, and the town there,
Okay.
South Shields, is closer to Sunderland than it is to Newcastle.
Right.
So
Okay.
yeah,
Interesting. So we've done you. You're a
Done.
Ranger of the North, apparently.
Ranger of the North.
That's CJ.
Oh, CJ.
I get a I hope he doesn't mind me saying this. He's a very clever guy, CJ, right? So I kind of get like a Witch King, Malthus Sauron vibe, kind of like a necromancer kind of vibe, maybe.
Yeah, no, I see
Like
that.
a Dol Guldur or a
Yeah.
Mordor kind of guy, kind of feel to him.
Bit of a sort of sorcerer on the weekends.
Yeah, like he's a very intelligent man. I can just
Yeah.
imagine the Malthus Sauron reads a lot of literature related to flaying of people or something like that. Could have said Gandalf. We could have said something nicer. Again, this isn't meant to offend anyone. It's just a bit of fun. I think he is a Mordor, maybe a Dol Guldur. So Sam has put in relation to this elves, because I know how to wind up Tom Hawker with barely any effort. If anyone doesn't know, Tom doesn't particularly like playing against elves. So he's put, in terms of books and films, probably Mordor, because I enjoy doing incredibly spiteful things in game. E.g., using all bar one of the Witch King's will in the last turn to black dart and kill Bard's littlest girl against CJ, and then it was CJ was protecting the other one, so that's quite ironic. Tom Hawker would be Uruk-hai Scouts for his marching ability. If anyone doesn't know, at the Desolation of Stockport, Tom might not like me for blasting him on the internet like this. Tom used March in one of his games with his Maho Kings or Chieftains. I can't remember which one doesn't have March. They don't have March, one of them. I think it's the King. So he was happily marching around the board with his camels. They don't have March. It's a bit of a meme within a certain group of the EAHC. So we've done myself, we've done you, Sam's done himself, we've CJ. So Mr. Richardson.
Oh, now.
So he's a very creative man.
Yeah.
So he's very good at being creative.
Yeah, I mean, he's good. He's good at making things.
He's got a good YouTube channel.
Yeah.
He's good at making scenery. He's good at painting models. So maybe an elf.
I see him as a dwarf,
Again, a dwarf makes sense.
I see him as a bit of a dwarf,
like a master craftsman or something.
Yeah,
like a tinkerer.
Yeah, tinkering away at a workshop at the back of the thing, coming out for beer and meat. I mean,
like a dwarf toy maker. That's a thing.
Yeah.
You've nailed it, mate. I think you've absolutely nailed it. What race of dwarfs though?
Oh,
is he a Moria?
He's probably Blue Mountain. So the ones that didn't come with Thorin to do any fighting, he's gone. I'm staying and playing with my models.
Yeah, he's just making toys, drinking.
Just making toys. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. That's it. Yeah, fair enough. That's it. James is a blue book.
Within walking distance of the nice pubs of the Shire.
It's just called you a massive coward, by the way. I never would. Not me, mate. You know I love you.
I think James will appreciate the I'm clearly bringing his love for making things and beer and meat
and his lack of fighting ability.
I think James will accept what
we've agreed that I'm a hobbit and I have fought in combat, so we're all over the place with these estimations. It's fine. But that's a very good question, Tom. Thank you very much, mate. I hope you enjoyed our. It's very difficult, actually.
It's very difficult.
2, 3 good, 3 evil. That's about right.
Yeah, it's about half and half. Yeah,
it's about half and half. So Jack has asked. This is the last question because of me, we missed a few of them. Missed them. So the ones that have been asked above, obviously, we're going to talk about the league finale. Hopefully on Friday. I mean, had I given you predictions before, I had Kieran down for the trophy just because he's had a very good year generally, and I wasn't playing for personal reasons, and I wasn't sure if CJ was playing because of personal reasons. So no offense to anyone else in that competition.
Cheers,
There's some very good players in it, and there was some very good players in it. But just because of the year Kieran's had generally, he's won a GBHL event. I think he came third or second at the London GT. He done well at a 100-point event recently at Warfare. So I think he's just had a very good year. He's won a couple of our East Anglia events this year. So I had him down just because he's done well all year, and if someone's doing well, you don't necessarily bet against them. And for the Shield, I wasn't actually sure. I know Jack had some issues filling the Shield, and I wasn't actually sure who was in it in the end. I know Clayton was, and he's been doing well against you guys of late. So I would have probably picked Clayton. Just because he's a good player, and his list he was using, he'd been playing a lot. So when you're well practiced with a list and its little tricks, and I mean anyone that has Azog's probably going to do all right. He's pretty good. So Jack has asked, has the war in Rohan changed your painting queue/army plans? If so, what has been left behind, and what's jumped in the front of the queue? So he's actually got a couple of questions. So we'll do that one first. For me, no. I don't play Rohan. I have got some roads of Rohan that I probably may see the light of day when they're not the flavour of the month, but I know they're going to be incredibly popular for the next 6 months, so probably not. He said, Dan's already said he's going to be painting up some Rohan for hopefully 7 Stones next year, so I guess that's your painting queue.
Yeah, I mean they're one of the few options, but yeah,
sounds like you need a new army, mate. That's all that sounds like.
They've jumped ahead, mate. To be honest with you, I've had a couple of full armies there waiting, and it's just leapfrogged a little bit.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I've got a full Rivendell army. I've not done anything with, but I have the full. I think I need 6. I can't remember. I either need 3 boxes of spearmen or 2 boxes of spearmen. I've got a 750-point army ready to go. I just need to paint it. So that's on the back burner. There's a few projects that I need to paint my Angmar orcs. I need to paint my Goblin Town. Some of it. I've got a lot of it painted already, but some of it. So there's a few things, but for me, as much as I like the Rohan, I think they're very good. I think they're probably going to be very good for the next foreseeable. It's not really up there for me. Then his second question is, what legendary legions do you think will be included? I'm guessing this is Warhin Rohan again.
Yeah.
Well, I think we've seen one from the new releases. I think there'll be a Defenders of Helm's Deep Legion.
Must be.
And then, to counter that, I think there'll be an Attackers of Helm's Deep Legion. Obviously speculating, but that makes sense.
Yeah, I think a lot of people wanted a new profile, didn't they, for the
Captain of Rock.
Yeah, the Europe was leading the army, so you can imagine there'd be an Isengard list somewhere which should involve, ballistas, the bomb teams, him, and then sort of maybe a boost to like sort of general captains and things, maybe.
Maybe. So I mean, I think the Urukai captain is a pretty good profile for hits points anyway. Roughly, they're not overly expensive for a fight 5, strength 5, defense 7 hero.
Maybe I don't know. Maybe something. I've just seen them getting a little bonus for it being a legion. I'm just not sure.
There's always a legion bonus. It's just hard to speculate as to maybe it'll be something to do with courage or
possibly. They've already got the army bonus, haven't they? Where they're not.
They won't have that because it's a legion.
A lot of them incorporated though, don't they? The 60.
Well, yeah. So I think they won't. They probably won't be broken. Maybe.
Oh, possibly, yeah.
Because of how many there are. Like technically, there's 10,000 Urukai.
Yeah.
God. I think we'll see potentially Sharky, no, not Shark. Sharku's Warg Riders, maybe.
Yeah,
Sharku. Yeah.
Sharky. Yeah, that'd be a good one.
I'd love to see a Ugluk and Grishnak Legion. I think that'd be cool.
Mm. I'd quite like some of the maybe. So I'd quite like Dunland. I mean, I know there's a lot of people wanting new Dunland models.
Mm-hmm.
I'd quite like to be sort of an all Dunland Legion because I think they need a bit of a boost. If you
It's like a Westfold Burns Legion or something.
yeah, and the flip side of that, I'd quite like to see a Rohan Legion with Airdred, so Thairdred and Erkenbrand.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Some of the models that have been
Neglected.
Yeah, so Erkenbrand was, for those of you who don't know, was the auto pick
For any good army, almost.
pretty much.
I need +2 courage. Yeah, take Oakenbrand. It's fine.
Yeah, in the last, and obviously he also gave fight for Rohan standard.
Yeah, with the red shields.
So, yeah. So he was the auto pick for.
Now he's probably not even in the top 5.
To be honest, I don't know if he gets in the top 10 now. Honestly,
because
Theoden
is 1 for me always.
Sorry,
Theoden's 1.
Theoden,
he had so much to that army.
Dernhelm, Dorline, Gamling. That's top 5 straight there.
He's definitely not in the top 5.
No, and then you've got Elfhelm, Dernhelm.
There's arguments that he could be in there instead of Elfhelm, maybe.
But Elfhelm gives you heroic accuracy mounted. He's the only one who does.
That's true. I mean, he still gives you courage bonuses, doesn't he?
Yeah, I just don't think he's. But a
lot of people are playing with the new shinies. That's why.
Yeah, but I mean, even then, you've got a lot of the Rohan. You take Royal Guard now, and they're all bodyguarded.
That's true. So you don't need the courage as much.
You don't need the courage as much.
That's true. So yeah, he was an auto included. Now he's probably 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, or 12th, maybe.
Yeah,
he's down there.
He's down there.
What was the question?
Legendary Legions. Legendary Legions, yeah. So I'd like a Fords of the Eye, Defenders of the Fords of the Eisen, maybe, which would be.
Oh, so like an orc list for Isengard.
Well, no, that was the
list.
So that was the Erkenbrand Theodred one.
Oh, sorry. Yep.
But yeah, I mean, there's a few. I think
Treebeard one that'd be cool.
Yeah,
no, the hobbits.
I'm sure there's something in the appendices of Rohan and the Ents. So when all the riders go off to fight at Penina Fields.
Yeah,
I'm sure there's something in the books about the. So he leaves men to stay and protect Rohan.
Right.
And Rohan is then under attack from orcs from the north. And
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and then the Ents fight with them in the wild.
Oh, right.
So I'd like to see a sort of an Ent Rohan alliance at some point.
Right.
Maybe, but again, it's hard to sort of do.
Like get a Rohan and Wild Men of Druiden.
Yeah, no, that would be a good legion. Yeah, absolutely.
From the evil side, I think it'll be Urukai related or Sharku related, Krishnak. Yeah, any of those would be cool. How many? Usually there's what? How many legions were there in Gondor at War? 8, 9?
I've got it to hand actually. If you bear with me, I'll have a quick look.
There's at least 6, but I can't remember specifically how many there are.
Well, I think we got 2 from the scouring, didn't we?
Yeah, 2. But that was a supplement for one specific race.
Yeah. Let's see.
That's also come out since I think the last podcast. By the way, I think it's been a while. It's been nearly 70 days. So
you got in Gondor War you got Rangers of Ithilien.
Yep.
Grey Company.
Yep.
Return the King.
3.
Rise of Theoden.
4.
Men of the West.
Yep.
Army of Gothmog. Grand Army of the South. And I think and the Blackgate Opens.
My favourite one. Yeah,
so,
8.
8, yeah. So you'd hope for.
Is it 4 and 4? It's a 4 and 4 split, isn't it?
I
think it is anyway.
1, 2,
Army of Gothmog, Serpent
3,
Guys, Blackgate.
4,
Might
5.
be a 5-3 split.
There's 5 good.
Yeah, so it's a 5-3 split.
Yeah.
But I imagine that this one will be a bit more even because it is literally about one particular part of Middle Earth. So
Yeah. No, absolutely. Yeah, that would be. Yeah, I mean, there's rumours of it being sort of historical Rohan as well. So maybe an Earl list or
oh, we've
something.
not even thought about that. Yeah, it could be.
You think that you'd imagine there might be an Earl the Young list. I think.
That'd be cool.
Yeah,
That'd be very cool.
because there's quite a lot of old sort of battles, isn't there, as well? You've got Helm Hammerhand and things like that.
Hammerhand. Yeah,
Yeah,
that'd be cool.
it'd be good if they went that far back and gave us some. Obviously, there'd be a little bit like how the dwarf lists work, where you can't take certain people because they're from a certain era.
Well, I imagine they'd probably be in legions, wouldn't they? So
Yeah,
you can only take those particular heroes in that legion.
Yeah,
Or if you say Helm Hammerhand was a thing, you could only take certain things with him. So probably just riders, maybe captains or something like that.
yeah,
Just to speculate because no one else would have been around then. So
so no, all unnamed heroes bar him.
yeah.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
And Jax then asked last part of his question. Jumping ahead massively, what do you want / think the next supplement will be on? I think we've answered this many times. We both would like, because of Rohan at War being announced, I think it probably, judging by it's gone 3-2, so I guess it would be Last Alliance / first film book
Yeah,
era.
Well, it depends. It depends on what they're doing with the new series, I imagine.
Well, that's not even out yet, though, is it?
No, but I don't know whether or not
they're be out soon.
Sorry,
is it? I don't think it's due to be out soon, though, is it?
It's not, but I don't know whether or not that's in their thinking as to whether Games Workshop are going to hold off.
I mean, judging by when was Gondor at War released? Was it last year or this year? I can't remember.
Last year, I think. Same time, December last year.
Again, I genuinely don't know.
I think it was similar.
I mean, if they've got another year, you never know if the Amazon series will be out by then.
Yeah.
True. But yeah, I imagine it'll be that time frame period. First book, film.
I'm going to
just by going in sequence of, unless they release something in between, like they did with the Scouring of the Shire.
Yeah. I always bang on about this, so I really want them to do the War in the North at the time of the ring. So
like Witch King with
no. So
sorry, Burder and stuff like that.
No, not even that. So so we had in the one of the original editions, you had old Dane.
Yep.
And King Brand.
Oh, with like the Easterlings, you mean?
Yeah, so the Easterlings fighting Dale and Erebor.
So Dale under Bard's son?
Grandson. So
grandson, who's king at the time? Yeah, that'd be cool.
So I think they released some scenarios for it in the back of the old Return the King book, the blue one.
Right.
So going way back, but we did not. We obviously didn't have models for it, so you were just using Khazad-dûm models and Men of Rohan to represent the two things. But now you've obviously got
Dale and Erebor.
We've obviously got Erebor and Dale. I think it'd be a good way to, because there's still a lot of Hobbit troops.
Yeah.
I think it'd be a nice way to give another sort of lease of life to them all. So you could do Dale under attack and then Erebor under attack by Easterlings.
And potentially expand on them too, because they're both quite limited ranges.
Exactly. I mean, you can add in Dane's son, so Thorin Stonehelm is Dane's son.
I'm not overly familiar with sons and...
Yeah. But he comes over and takes over from Dane.
Right.
At the end of War of the Rings, so he fights, so that'd be good. And then So and then you could have a couple more Dale heroes and things, and just expand on that list. But
Yeah, that'd be quite cool actually. I don't thought
yeah,
about that.
and then I think you've got Lothlorien is attacked, and then and Mirkwood and the Mirkwood elves are
Was
attacked.
Aragorn uh, reclaim um, Arnor?
Yeah,
That's the
that's
thing.
yeah, he does that. That's obviously after War of the Ring, isn't it? But this is what's happened.
Is it in the appendices or is it just because obviously the licensing goes up to the appendices,
Yeah, it doesn't say anything about him fighting there though. Although it does say about him.
rebuilding the kingdom and stuff.
Yeah, he rebuilds the kingdom. It does mention him and Eomer when they're both kings going to war in the east, though.
Oh, there you go. That's a future
Afterwards, yeah.
expansion potentially.
So they go.
So like what? Like is that the east would be Easterlings?
So the Sea of Ruin, which is above, so it's Easterling, so it's above Mordor. You got the sort of in
Right.
the sort of internal sea there, and that they go off to war that way.
Oh, that'd be
At some
cool.
point.
That'd
So
be a cool expansion.
that'd be really good. So I mean, there's still room, hopefully, fingers crossed,
Yeah,
for a
and
few more.
potentially, depending on licensing and things, we might get a completely new factions, story arc, timeline, completely with the Amazon series. So
Yeah, definitely. So hopefully lots to play for.
yeah,
Yeah.
right. So I said it'd be a bit shorter. We're on nearly
Yeah.
52 minutes. It's not too bad, considering for half of the questions, well, actually 2/3 of the questions we didn't actually answer. Um, so yeah, I think that's it, right?
Yeah,
I
I
think
think we're
we'll call it there. Don't want to waffle on for the sake of waffling on.
no,
Um, and
we're
just
doing another one on Friday as well, so it
I
should
think we are, yeah, potentially. So again, I'd just like to say a massive thank you to everyone who has been either going back through the old episodes and re-listening to them, or if you're new, I always do this at the end. I'm out of practice, guys. I'm out of practice. Um, if you have liked the episode, please leave it a like. If you're glad we're back, leave us a little comment. Something stupid. Actually, if you the same question that was asked about myself, Dan, CJ, Sam, James Richardson, and we've added Jack. Why don't you leave in the comment section what race you would assign to us all, and we'll have some fun. Leave a little reason as to why. Won't be. I don't think we'll be offended. I promise. You can pick whatever you like, but just just have a little bit of fun with it. Leave a little reason why. We haven't got a question of the week this week because I forgot to ask CJ, so that's what we'll do instead. So leave a like, comment. The six of us or seven of us, what race you think we best would fit into in the Lord of the Rings / Hobbit era, and we'll have a little bit of fun in the comment section. And it's interaction. As I said, the fact that we've still gained subscribers and had good watch time and stuff means a lot to me. We're very close to 100 subscribers, and I still haven't thought about what to do for a giveaway. So I should probably think about that. But if you are new and you want to find out what that is, then please subscribe. And it's nearly Christmas, so plenty of scope for me to find something cool within the range that potentially we could give away to one of you guys. So comment, like, share, subscribe. Thank you all very much for listening. Thank you to Dan for being my guest,
You're
and I'll
welcome.
probably speak to him again on Friday by the sound of things. And we'll be doing a full EAHC 2019 league review and finale review, and I think it will be a meaty one. So that'll be good for the people who like to listen to this to and from work and whatnot. Anyway, I'm doing it again, rambling in the outro. I'll speak to you guys soon, and thank you very much for listening.